Hello, I'm Wendy and this is Summer Bay Studio. And today I'm going to be working again in this little old book that I picked up at an antique store that I'm turning into a glue book. And it's a book that I'm not going to read. It was actually from 1926 when it was published. And I've already done a couple of pages. I used this glue on the pages. I've decided to try and just use glue sticks from now on this book to try and keep stand up there, to try and keep the pages from buckling, because anytime you wet paper it's going to buckle and I don't really want that to happen. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of just going sequentially page after page, what happens when I've done journals from altered books before is they get kind of front heavy and then it just doesn't work out. So what I can do is add to the back if I wanted to, and I might do that. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that was there. Some child has been at this one. But I think what I'm going to do instead is just take random pages. So as I mentioned in my last video about this book, it has signatures, which is groupings of pages of only 2 sheets. So you can see here the binding stitching, and then there's this one, and then there's the center here. So all I have to do is carefully tear out the center piece of the signature, and that will take out half the pages. So this has beautiful paper. I don't know if they well, I suppose somebody makes it like this still, but it's very thick and soft. It almost feels like felt. Anyway, it gives me paper for other things, so that's a good thing. And with this one, what I'm going to do with this is, I found some pages from magazines, and magazines are a great source of pictures and images and words and things like that. And I'm going to just put it right across here, and I want to place it so that it cuts off this writing but saves this writing. I could cut it, but yeah, I think I will. I think I will just start by cutting this piece of paper. And then I can trim it more afterwards if I need to. But this way at least I get my cut line where I kind of want it, according to the bottom. I think I need to put it in the other way, or do it down here, just to make sure I've got a straight cut. I think that'll work. And there's words in here I could probably cut out if I want to. There, this leaves a little bit of an edge around it, which is fine. All right, I've got parchment paper out today for keeping glue off other things. I'm just going to open this up, move some of these other things out of the way. Wow, what a pretty room. And then just liberally put glue on here to the edges. And you know, this stuff has moisture in it as well, so it actually also makes paper buckle, and you know, you can't really do much about that. Otherwise, how else are you going to stick stuff down? And I'm leaving this sort of ragged edge because I'll probably cover it up anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. And then this is going over to one side, right like that, and straight across the middle. And I'm going to use one of my painting rags to press it down, because magazines the paper can be quite fragile, especially when it gets glue on it. And sometimes the paper is really thin. And now I'm going to fold this just to make sure it works. Press it down here as well. Better put a lid back on this. I don't want it drying up. there's where my strings are in the center. Now, there's a gorgeous start for a page. So what I want to do now is just find some more ephemera pieces to put on it. And I'm going to start with this collection. I do like her. Let's see. Oops, that's two. Those colors are nice. I think I like them better even. And some of these have pictures on both sides because of where they came from in the books. And I bought the books at used bookstores and just cut them all apart, which kind of makes you cringe when you think about it, but how else are you going to have these kind of pretty pictures? There's that little guy again. Oh, it's smaller. This one actually goes over the edge. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to just put this over here for the moment because I want to distress it. And to do that, I need to change this from blue to brown. Now, yeah, I think I'm going to use this vintage photo one. I also have walnut stain. It's quite dark. Well, let's start with this one. It's a little bit lighter. And see if I like it. Because if I want it darker, then I can just go over it. I think I might want it darker. Let's give it a whirl. I don't know if you can tell, but the sun is out today, which might not be remarkable where you live, but at this time of year where I live, it is noteworthy. We've had lots of rain. If you've watched the news, we had terrible floods in November. And a lot of gray skies. That's pretty normal here. And I went out yesterday and finished all my Christmas shopping, which is also remarkable. I had to do a lot of it early because my daughter and her family are not going to be around for Christmas. They're going away, so I had to get theirs done early. Plus my daughter's birthday was on the weekend. So, okay, this little guy is going to go there. Now, my next thought is, what do I want to say here? And I think I want to say some things. I want to have some words, but I haven't cut any out. I'm going to just kind of wing it on this page and go for kind of color theme. Plus I've got these little sayings, because I'm making this book kind of motivational. I want to put in some of these little messages here, there, and everywhere. And these are available on my website, so at summerbaystudio.com. And you can go over there and find them. I like that one for this because it's sort of landscape and whatnot. But I do want to cover this up. So let me see what I can find. Just get out a few things here that might work for this look. There's this one. That one looks nice. Look at those colors. That gives me something to work with anyway. I don't think I'll use her, but I might use something like that. Let's see. I love this vintage printing. Okay, I need to get this off here. That one might go there. Here's one from Antibes. That one looks nice. I don't want to cover this whole picture up, but I do like this. Okay, I've got repeats here. All right, let's just get rid of this because I think that one's a winner. Now the other thing too is if I wanted to, I could just make this into a pocket and I could put something else in there. But since this is more of a glue book than a journal, I think I won't. However, if that's going to go right there, I want something, I think, underneath it. And I think I have the very thing. This kind of goes with the vintage as well. I've got these washi tapes. That'll work, won't it? Let's see about this other one. I like this one. Okay, need to measure. So if I just put it down here, I can get out my scissors and cut it at just the right spot, which is right about here. It's almost perfect. That's nice. I really like that. And now if I put this across the middle, then you can still see her. And a lot of this stuff is just covered up. It doesn't mean that much anyway. All right, let's do this. So in the town where I live, which is a small town, we had this little vegetable store just around the corner, which was fantastic. And it had been there for years. I think I need a little bit more on here. Owned by local people. And then it sold. And the next thing we knew, it was shut down. And the whole town is like, what? What happened? Because we all loved it. So apparently, according to the sign on the door, they found asbestos in the walls. So they must have tried doing some renovations or something. And it was wonderful because it was open till 6 o'clock. And if I needed something for supper at 10 to 6, I could just run over there. Or even 5 to 6. In fact, sometimes I'd say to my husband, put on your running shoes and go get me some whatever. And he'd get in just as they were closing the door and buy the stuff and bring it home, and it was all good. But now I have to plan ahead. Okay, let's put this little guy over here. Leave a little bit of a space around him. Make sure I get him in there kind of straight. He's so cute. He reminds me of my grandson, who's 4. And the most delightful little boy, I have to say. And I love 4-year-olds. They're just the cutest things. And they say the cutest things. And yeah. He collects animals. Little animal figures to play with. Like little plastic ones, about this high. So I asked him what he wanted for Christmas. He said, animals. He talks really well, but he talks fast. Animals. It's all one syllable. There. I like that. And now what should I do? I feel like it needs a little bit more something. So let's see. Anyway, I was asking him, I've already bought his present, but I was asking him when I saw him on the weekend what animals he still doesn't have. Hôtel des Bergus, Genève. Not so sure. And he knew exactly what he needed. So I'd asked him, you know, do you have this? Do you have that? I said, what about a stork? He said, I don't have a stork. Which just cracked us all up. And he says, I said, I thought, I'll try and stump him here. Do you have an aardvark? I have an aardvark. He sounds like he's from Boston or something. Points his fingers like this. I have an aardvark. Okay, these ones are brown, and there's lots of spaces for them, I think. So it's a matter of where I want to put them and how much of the background picture I want to cover up. I don't really want to cover up very much, so I'm thinking cover up little bits of this one instead. And maybe over here like this. But I also want to put some kind of message in here. So let's see. I cut these pages out of an English gardening magazine, which is just beautiful. This year coming up, I think we all have high hopes for 2022 because 2020 and 21 were, you know, in lots of ways pretty disappointing as far as, you know, what life has to offer. I wish that wasn't bright white, but it is. 71 brown, I like that. Doesn't say anything, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to distress this whole thing. Just like that. Because there's still lots of ink in this. There. See how easy that was? Hope it dries quickly. So when I think ahead to 2022, it's like I'm almost afraid to plan anything because, you know, the doors might close again and it'll be tough luck. This year, 2021, I was able to go to Paris in a little window of opportunity, which I went with my sister and we just grabbed that time because she had time off and so did I. Well, I take time off when I work ahead for it. But things closed up right after. You know, we had to jump through a bunch of hoops to actually be able to get on flights and get into the country and all that sort of thing. But right after that, you know, within a couple of weeks, things closed up again. COVID numbers went up and borders closed and all that sort of thing. I wish I'd distressed the outside of that. So I'm going to remedy it. Okay, this is wild and crazy. I bought these in Paris. They're called pan pastels. They're actually from the US, but they were selling them in this old art store. And they're like chalk pastels in a pan. So that's how you use them. So if I just green up that tree a little bit, I can probably just dust some around the edges here. This works brilliantly. The only problem is I don't have a brown. I'm going to have to order some more of these. I'm going to put a link in the description where you and I both can buy them. I haven't really done any projects with them because I've been busy with Christmas stuff and all that. But I do want to. I bought these sort of Art Deco things, Art Nouveau. And maybe something here is a good fit or a good message or something. That one maybe. They're so pretty. This one is gorgeous, but it's too big for the space. And then I've got all these pages from another little sort of art book. Whenever I go to a new town, I try to find the used bookstores and scour their shelves. Kind of want something in the middle there, but I think that might be too big. However, it is kind of sheer, I think. It's hard to tell because once you get them off the backing and onto something else, they look a little bit different. And these are tricky to get off their backing. You have to just roll your thumb over the end and try and catch a corner. So let's see. That's, I don't know. That looks fairly opaque. But no, I'm not going to use it there. Actually, I'm not sure I'm going to use it anywhere. You know, I'm going back to Plan A, that one. In fact, I'll do the edges of it too. I tend to forget to do this, you know. That looks better because sometimes when you cut them out, you get white paper around them, and this kind of takes that off. Takes care of it. All right, let's just do this. That right in there. And let me see if I have one that would look good up here. Just something tiny with a little bit of a message of some kind. That's too big. A lot of these have numbers, which are meaningless, but here's one that's tiny. The tree is so pretty, I don't want to cover it up. Two it is. Kind of would like something more on top of here for some reason. Let's see what we got in our little things here. Okay, that works. Put my lid back on and do the edges so that it blends better. In fact, I'm going to kind of go inland on it a little bit more so it's not quite so pink. I want it to be a little browner, more browny orangey. Please subscribe to my channel by clicking on the little subscribe button below, and click the little bell, then click all, and then you can get notified when I have a new video. Okay, I think that's good. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Just press these together, make sure everything is stuck down. Washi tape tends to pop up. Let's use this instead of fingernails. This guy is not stuck at all. It's not got enough glue on it. There. And same here. Let's get the washi tape. Just make sure nothing's popping up. Like this. This is my thing with glue sticks. I'm using this one because I think it's a better glue. I thought I would try the other one and give it a chance again. But this is a better glue, and it's also a lot more expensive. And I bought it when I was in Vancouver, where I do not live. So there's our pages today. Be sure to check below in the description for anything that I'm sharing and where you can get things. And go to my website at Summer Bay Studio and you can get some of these for free. I hope you enjoyed that. I think it turned out really well. And I'll see you next time.